You're listening to Systemic Era Podcast. The failure was designed.
Model tone on an Coney Barrett and ominous signal for what's next analysis based on an article by Daniel Hampton. Barrett's sin was not moderation, it was disobedience. The summary: a new poll shows Justice Amy Coney Barrett as a least-elect member of the Supreme Court, with especially poor Republican sentiment after she joined recent rulings against Trump-backed efforts on late ballots and birthright citizenship. The right reacted with open contempt, while Vox's Ian Millhiser argued the real lesson is that future Republican voting will likely demand harder ideological loyalty, especially on birthright citizenship. Power, not personality. The story is not that Barrett became unpopular. It is that she momentarily refused to serve as a perfectly reliable instrument of Trumpism on two issues that matter to the movement. That is what triggered the backlash, not principle, not constitutional concern, obedience. The institutional power here sits with the Republican Party's judicial selection apparatus, with Trump as a central broker of loyalty and with the party's media enforcers policing the limits of acceptable drift. Barrett's problem, from their perspective, is not that she is too extreme. It is that she is not extreme in the exact ways they now require. The real complaint: Republicans are not angry because Barrett is unmoderate. The source makes clear she does not want to join the decision overturning rule. That fact matters because it strips away the fake narrative that she is some stealth centrist who wandered off the reservation. What upset model was narrower and uglier. She did not deliver on the party's immediate tactical demands in the Mississippi mail ballot case and the birthright citizenship fight. In other words, she participated in the hard rights project until she felt to be mechanically loyal on command. That is enough to turn her into a traitor in a movement built on submission, not jurisprudence. How the blame gets misdirected. The South scatters the spectacle while Mace, Walsh, Kelly, and Trump all rush in to punish Barrett for not being useful enough. That is a familiar authoritarian move. The institution creates the problem, then schedules the official who does not obey every last instruction. This is not evidence that the court is functioning normally and occasionally disappoints partisans. It is evidence that the right treats judicial power as an enforcement arm for its political program. When justice applies even limited friction, the reaction is not debate. It is first thought, bidding for constitutional action. Millhiser's warning is the most important part of the story. Future Republican White Houses are likely to vet nominees not for legal seriousness but for willingness to abolish birthright citizenship regardless of the Constitution. That is the trajectory. The lesson Trump's circle will take is not that they were too aggressive. It is that they were not aggressive enough in screening for total loyalty to anti-constitutional outcomes. The next nominee will be expected to pre-commit to the result first and find the legal rhetoric later. That is how institutions become costume departments for authoritarian goals. The court as a loyalty machine. Barrett's collapse in Republican favorabilities is not a civic mystery. It is a stress test. The court is being judged less as a constitutional body than as a loyalty machine, and the right is furious when the machine hesitates. That is the larger pattern the Republican coalition keeps trying to convert democratic institutions into instruments of permanent minority rule, and it punishes anyone inside the system who does not move fast enough. Barrett's treatment is not a warning that the right values moderation less. It is a warning that it values constitutional limits less than ever. You've been listening to Systemic Era. Thanks to Raw Story for today's article. With the automated voice of Diana, thanks for listening.